Families left without a home after a fire in Lancaster County.
It's very labor intensive. We were cutting holes and chasing the fire in through the insulation.
What happened and the fire chief's warning for you tonight.
4 men now accused of burglarizing a home days after a murder-suicide there. What they're accused of taking. Deadly ATV crash.
An accident so early in the morning. The little one, 6 years old.
Neighbors reacting tonight to the tragedy.
A look ahead to your weekend forecast to help you plan and how long the rain stays out of the forecast.
And a bear sighting in a Susquehanna Valley community. Do you know what to do if you encounter one?
WGAL News 8 at 10 starts now.
An early evening house fire leaves families out of their homes and major damage in Lancaster City. Good evening, I'm Jerry Gish. Investigators are now looking into the cause. And News 8's Michael Fuller live on East Chestnut Street tonight with the latest for us. Michael.
Well, Jerry, thankfully no one was injured. However, the Red Cross is assisting as a total of 4 people living in both homes had to vacate the properties, both being condemned as the fire caused significant damage.
I can see the smoke.
Earlier this evening, fire trucks filled the road on East Chestnut near North Marshall Street.
It wasn't that intense when I first got out there, but as I looked, it got more intense. And the firefighters were climbing up to go inside the roof to contain the fire.
After the Lancaster City Bureau of Fire says it received a call around 4:10 for a house fire. Neighbor Alonda Hansley lives up the street and describes her reaction the moment she saw it all unfold.
Well, first of all, I prayed for her because she's my neighbor, and I prayed for her that our house would be safe.
At the time we arrived, 4 fire trucks and an ambulance blocked the road with hoses and firefighters going in and out of the house.
Cruiser I found a fire in between the void spaces in the rear second floor roof area. It's very labor intensive. We were cutting holes and chasing the fire in through the insulation, the blown-in insulation in the roof area.
Chief Todd Hutchinson is thankful everyone is okay and is using the moment to remind folks that working smoke alarms are an essential part of any home.
Early detection is key, and early detection from the smoke alarms brought the residents, they were able to get out safely and with no injuries.
And as you heard, the investigation continues. However, I had the chance to speak with one of the families who resided in one of the homes. They didn't want to speak on camera. We wish them well, but they did say that they are thankful that everyone is okay. Reporting live here in Lancaster City, Michael Fuller, WGAL News 8.
Michael, thank you. 4 men are facing charges tonight connected to a burglary at the scene of a murder-suicide last week. We told you yesterday about a student being arrested at Upper Dauphin High School and police finding a gun in his car. We now know police arrested Kyle Yeagley Jr. along with John Morales, Gage Dybart, and Quishan Blake. State police say the 4 stole from the Jefferson Township home of Upper Dauphin area high school teacher Taryn Morgan, who was shot and killed by her husband Dennis Morgan last Thursday. Dennis Morgan then turned the gun on himself, and the coroner's office says he has since died. State police say the gun found inside Yeagley's car was one of nearly a dozen taken from the Morgan's home. The men are also accused of taking alcohol and electronics. State police in Perry County are investigating a deadly ATV crash that killed a child this morning. The accident happened in a rural area in Carroll Township. State police say 3 people were riding the ATV around 8:30 this morning when it crashed on Pisgah State Road. Troopers say a child died and an adult was flown to the hospital. The other child, who was on the ATV, was not hurt. A woman who lives next door says the family moved in about a year ago and would ride their ATVs in the morning.
I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw a post on Perry County Alerts of the accident, and I saw the address and I'm like, holy crap, it's like right near my house. I looked it up on Google Maps and it was literally my neighbor. Somebody I haven't met yet. I came outside with my dogs and I could hear like the fire trucks.
Neighbors say the child who died was a 6-year-old girl and the adult who was hurt is a 37-year-old woman. State police declined to confirm their identities. 3 weeks after a deadly shooting took the life of a 15-year-old in York, police are increasing surveillance in Penn Park. Investigators say cameras helped identify the people involved in Daquall Harris's death. A night watch camera was installed in the park after the shooting, and community members say they want more to help curb violence.
Every camera you put in here, it's going to help, but they need a little bit more visible, not just like on the pole or something. pull them somewhere they know it's here.
Some say more lighting in the park could help too. The cameras don't stay stagnant. They move, pointing toward hot spots. New tonight, Lancaster City Police are now sharing why they're keeping the lights on top of their vehicles on. They posted this video to their Facebook page earlier today.
Hi, my name is Officer Alexander Lewis with the Lancaster City Bureau of Police. You guys have been wondering why our cruiser lights are on. So the reasons that we have our cruiser lights on is firstly because of high visibility. We want everybody to be able to see where they could go for help. Second reason is so that with our lights on, more people can see us and it'll be less likely for people to be able to commit crime.
We talked with people in the community yesterday who say they're concerned about the confusion the lights may cause. We also had reached out to Lancaster City Police several times this week wanting to talk about the new initiative. We were told they would provide a statement yesterday afternoon, but we never heard back. All right, let's take a live look now over Harrisburg tonight following a really nice early summer day. And it's beautiful out there this evening, too. Let's go over to Ethan Houston. These are some nice days at the end of May here, Ethan.
That's right. Finally, a combination we have not seen much this spring. Warmer weather, low humidity, and lots of sunshine. And we should do it all again tomorrow without the intense breeze that we had throughout the day. Right now, 64 degrees in Harrisburg, 61 if you're joining us in Lancaster, and 62 in Hanover. The winds right now, still a light breeze, anywhere from 5 to about 15 miles per hour. Winds will stay in that range late this evening through the overnight hours, but all is quiet on live Local 8 radar since we have very little cloud cover. That is the case across all of the Commonwealth. So look for mostly to clear skies through the night tonight as temperatures dip down to the low to mid 50s for our lows. And for tomorrow, we're back into the upper 70s, but it is going to feel comfortable with that low humidity. On into the weekend, weather looks great, just a little bit cooler for your Saturday. Mixture of sunshine and clouds, a stiff breeze at times will fare a little bit better on Sunday. But it looks like it is going to be dry throughout the entire weekend ahead. Not much rain in that 10-day forecast, but there are some showers at times. Find out when, coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you. In Lancaster County, a Warwick High School student is charged after allegedly assaulting another student on campus. Charging documents say 18-year-old Malachi Rodriguez grabbed the victim's breasts on 2 different occasions and exposed himself to her. Police charged Rodriguez after reviewing school surveillance video. He faces 2 misdemeanor charges of indecent assault and indecent exposure and a summary count for harassment. A child was hurt after the engine block of a vehicle crashed into a home in Elizabeth Township, Lancaster County. State police say the engine block came free from an SUV that had crashed into a tree Tuesday night and overturned in the yard on Division Highway. The block went through the wall of the home, knocked over a toy bin, and hit an 11-month-old girl. The family tells News 8 the child is okay and the toy bin prevented her from being hit by other debris. 2 Pennsylvania lawmakers went to the Moshannon Valley ICE Detention Center earlier today for an unannounced oversight visit. Congressman Chris DeLuzio and Congresswoman Summer Lee, both Democrats, say the visit comes after concerns about the conditions at that facility. The pair say they were let in for about 2 hours, but their staff and translators were not allowed to go inside. After their visit, the representatives posted a video on social media sharing some of what they heard and saw.
I mean, of course, we got I think, a pretty sanitized tour, but we also had access to the women's unit where they were quite willing to, really lay out a lot of the things that they've been going to. We met 2 pregnant women, one of whom, has suffered from some bleeding, told us that they're not even sure, the status of their pregnancy. We heard people talk about some of their abuses, some of the complaints that we heard about, food and other things. So yeah, pretty revealing.
There were 2 deaths reported at the detention center last year, including a man who was arrested in Lower Paxton Township, Dauphin County. ICE said Chow Feng Shi was found hanging by the neck and unresponsive in the shower room of the facility in August.